Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I welcome our next speaker, Mrs. Yetunde Bankole-Bernard. Is the Executive Director of Finchglow Group, a group of 6 companies in the downstream sector of aviation, travel, and tour industry. Hi, people. I am happy to be here today. I'm so excited. I hope you're ready to get this going. So my topic is changing the game from within, inside out. And I remember when I saw that topic, I was quite excited because everyone that knows me knows that I am big on personality. I am big on difference. I am big on being who you need to be. So this, I know that this is for women, so I'm going to try and scale it specifically to women. I'm going to be talking to you about maybe about 5 or so points. So this is off the top of my head. I'm just going to, so let's go together. Just follow me on this. So I'm going to start off with a small story, and that is my story. And the story, I always share it every time I go to different places, and I say things like, I remember that when I was much younger, because I grew up in a family of 5, and I'm the last born. And then my immediate brother at the time was like 11 years older than me, obviously. Then the first one, 17 years, 15 years, 13 years. So the point is that growing up, I never really had to make any decision for myself. I never really had to do anything for myself. I thought I didn't have an opinion. But what happened is that I spent time in my thoughts a lot of times. So I would think about different things, they would say some things, I would go back and I would imagine, hey, why did they say, what did that mean? But I never really was able to tell anyone, this is what I'm thinking, or this is how. But, with time, I found that I was able to introspect a lot. When things are happening and people say, people go into a frenzy or they go into some, discomfort, I would always say, but look at it like this. And then it would be like, oh, I didn't see that. Initially it wasn't a thing until I started working. Follow me. Stay with me, okay? Everything I'm saying means something. So stay with me. I'm telling a story, but stay with me. So I remember when I started working, somehow I found myself in something that I already liked. PR, public relations, all of those things, event management and all of that. And every time there was a challenge, there was a, something to worry about. Maybe the client was upset about something, bang, they're just going to call me. Oh yeah, you go and handle that. Initially, it didn't make sense to me. I just thought, oh yeah, I would, After a while, I started asking myself, why is it that every time there's a challenge with something, I'm the next person they call? Or, something needs to be done properly and everybody is just misbehaving. Excellence, quality, they know. They'll just call me, oh yeah, you, go and do it. Go and work on the premium brands. And I used to wonder, what is this thing? After a while, I realized what it is. So I'm going into my first point is, who are you? What is unique about being you? So if you're saying that you want to change the game from inside out, we see the world that we live in is totally saturated, if you want to use the word saturated. So there's no new idea under the sun, meaning that everything that you think you are imagining that you want to do, there is a semblance of it somewhere. Somebody else is trying to do it. Somebody else is already doing it. So I always say to people, when people tell me things like, oh, that market is saturated, how do I get in? And I'm saying to them, it is not saturated because you are not there. Your version has not been heard yet. But how do you even change that game? How? The only way is to understand, who am I? What is unique about being me? And know that that is your only true weapon. That is the only thing that makes the difference in what A is doing from what B is doing. Your difference. I call it your difference. What is your difference? Your difference is your natural ability, your skills, your talents, your voice, your perspective, your reasoning. So, number one, like I said off the top of my head, I'm going to be giving it to you like points. So, number one, the first thing is find your difference. Who am I? How do I find my difference? So, when I teach and I say to people, the easiest way to find your difference is to introspect a lot. Find time to be silent. As women, a lot of times we have so many things happening in our lives. So if it's not, it doesn't matter what age you are, okay? So there's always something happening in our lives because we are multitaskers naturally, right? But you need to find consciously, now this is not something that happens to you. You have to create time to be silent in yourself. It's not every time talk. It's not every time speak. It's not every time opinion. No. Find time to just take things that people are saying, take things that are happening around you, take things from things that you're reading, things that you're perceiving, and find time, silence, to honor your own difference and say, okay, what's my perspective on it? I call it breathe on it. So, breathe on things and find a perspective. Why am I telling you this? We're talking about changing the game from inside out. If you are used to spending time in your silence, noise will not be anything to you. You know why? Even though everything around you seems to be falling apart, you are centered within yourself. You have a certain, anyway, whatever happens, I will take this thing back and I will ponder over it. For some people, they call it meditating. Some people say, I will pray about it or whatever. The point is, find time by yourself to interrogate your options. What is going on here? Why, if I do it like this and that? If that's not every time panic, you cannot be so. Why am I using these words? Because I find that most of the time with women, we get overwhelmed easily. And then because of our natural temperaments as women, it is. So we express those things. What I'm saying is that it's not every time that you allow yourself to go into panic mode. Get used to finding a special time to be by yourself in your own silence, all right? So that you can understand your difference and be able to serve that difference every time is required. That's number one. I hope you get that. Number two, I always say this, like the meaning of life really is to find your gifting. And the reason is so that you can give it away. Let me take that again. So the meaning of life is for you to find your gifting, your skills, your abilities, what is different about you, what you can bring to the table. That is the meaning of the end of this life that we are living. Because if you look at, let's just look at the whole, the whole happenings of the past, of the entire year, to be honest. A lot of people we've lost people that we loved. And when we remember them for the things that they gave to us. And they're not material things. They're really things of essence. So their kindness, their compassion, their empathy, their, how they were just able to solve this problem, how they were just able to say this when I needed to hear that. So it is you realizing that the meaning of life, the entire life that we live, is so that you can find your gifting, your abilities, your skills, your different. And when you find it, it's so that you can give it away. Because you are not living until you are giving. You are really not living until you are giving. You don't want to be that person that when you leave, we don't even know. We don't even know anything happened to us. What am I talking about? Changing the game from within. See, when we are talking about within is everything that you are, everything that you have been given. So whatever you call it, I'm Christian, so I call it God. So when God sends a child to the earth, it's hope. And so when he's sending a child, he's saying, okay, this child already has these gifts, skills, abilities, talents for the world. And so people are rejoicing. A child has been born. Why? It is hope. Somebody's hoping that from this child is going to be this and that. This child is going to be that and this. But then we grow. And then we start to have stress. And we start to have, our own personal interests. And we start to have things that distract us. So the only way to change that game, whether it's in the workplace, it's in the relationship space, wherever it is for you to realize that the only thing that makes you different from the next person is everything that is within you, your skills, your abilities, your talents, your gifting, your wisdom, your voice. Okay, so that's number two. The meaning of life is for you to find your gifts. And the reason is so that you can give it away. And I say to people, so I'm going straight into the workplace now because I understand that this is for women in the workplace. So a lot of women say to me that things like, I don't have equal opportunities. Every time I want to say something, or every time we're vying for a role, they will choose the guy over those things are real. They are real, and they're not things that to be taken trivially. A lot of people think, you people are just overreacting. No, we are not. No, we are not. It is real in every sense of the word. But there's something I'm going to say to it. So for instance, someone like me, even though I am in my 40s, like I always have to, initially, I remember before I turned 30, 30 looked to me like, hey, finally 30. You know why? Because maybe I was expecting that people will now start calling me ma, or they start saying madam, So I thought that, finally, when I'm 30 now, everything is going to fall up, fall in place for me. And I remember, going for this presentation, and it was a high-level presentation. And my boss had said, okay, obviously, you are the one that you are going to take this. And I had gone there. And I saw their countenance, and I just thought, it's not today. I know people like you. Don't worry. I know what to do. So the next point I'm going to say is that lead with your expertise. Okay? Lead with your expertise and then follow through with graciousness. What does that mean? You see, when you land on a scene, you can no longer be that person that doesn't know. You do your homework. Remember, spending time with yourself is not just always just finding out what is your skills, your abilities, your talents. It's also knowing, how do I harness these things? Beyond harnessing it, how do I grow it to the level where I'm at my highest point? I honor this difference in a way that I give to it. Remember, because I know I'm going to give it away. And anything you are giving away, you can't just give away crap. You can't just give away something that is not worth anything. So you have to work on yourself to the point where when you are giving it away, even the person receiving it becomes grateful that, finally I met this. You know what? I always say to people, every time you meet somebody, you know that you're leaving a part of you with them. Every time you have a conversation, you have anything with someone, you're leaving a part of you with them. So do not leave them with nothing, because you don't know what that person needs at that time. You don't know if you're ever going to meet that person again. It is an opportunity to give, to make a difference in that person's life. So be so charged up within yourself that every time you have an opportunity to meet someone, you are dropping a part of you with them. And you know why? I call that showing up, because anytime, for whatever reason, you will just come to mind. It's called the memorability factor. You cannot be that person that is just hair. It cannot just all be about hair, makeup, dress. You have to honor your difference by cultivating your inner wisdom, such that when you say a thing, we know that, okay, you have said something. This thing makes sense to me. Oh, you just did this for me. Oh, you just did that for me. That is how to change the game from inside out. So I was talking about leading with expertise. Lead with expertise, but follow through with graciousness. You see, you don't have to prove anything to anybody. You don't owe anyone anything. All you owe is love, not friendship. Okay? You need to honor, just know that all I need to do in this life, I've been given that. I need to respect and love everyone. I don't owe you access. I don't owe you friendship. And if you know that, you need to know that once you are leading with expertise, you are saying the facts. You are saying it as it is. You are giving them facts and figures, skills, abilities, every other thing. Believe me, it melts. It no longer matters. They will no longer see your size. They will no longer see your age. They will no longer see your sex. They're just going to be seeing, wow, this is wisdom. This is power. This is growth, right? So remember, every time lead with expertise and follow through with graciousness. What is graciousness? Meaning that you also draw them in. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Those are the things, we need to understand words like compassion, empathy, being in a space where it is no longer just about you. It's about knowing that I am here for a reason. What is that reason? So give and keep giving till I have nothing else to give. Do we understand that? I'm going to take 2 more points because I'm not really sure what my timing is. That's not very clear right now. So for the technical team, please check that so I can know what my timing is. It's not there. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. So I'm going to give you 2 more points. And the other point is this. As women, a lot of times we feel like we have to be a certain way before people can understand what our mission is. So a lot of times we box ourselves, we become like men, we take on roles we shouldn't, we do things like that. So what I'm going to say is this, that your feminine energy is like your greatest power. What does that mean? You see, we have an ability. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. There's no need trying to be a man or trying to be. Remember, changing the game from inside out is you being in your authentic element. Your feminine energy is the energy of reasoning, of intention, of being able to decipher what people are saying, without them really saying it, of compassion, of being able to hear, to think, to feel. All of those things are the things that you should bring on board every single time. You need to understand that in the workplace setting, in any relationship, in whatever it is, your feminine energy is, and look, when I say feminine energy, I'm not talking about sexual energy, because that's the thing that we always just gravitate towards. No, I'm talking about your wisdom. I'm talking about what is different about being a woman. So these are things that, obviously, this is like how many minutes, so I cannot really readily break it down into bite sizes for you, but if you need to do that, I mean, I'm sure that you can get contact details and you can sort that out later. But remember that your feminine energy is something that you need to understand and hold on to. The final thing is for me to say to you that all that you need to be, you already are. Everything was given to you. It is based on your own ability to decide, okay, who am I? Okay, what's my difference? How do I make sure that every single time I'm serving this difference and I'm showing up as me and serving my world such that the world becomes grateful for me? That is what you have to do. So all that you need to be, you already are. So I'm just going to tell you, I'm just going to give you 2 words. Should I say 2 words? And those words are step forward. Forget it. Forget every other thing that seems to crowd your mind, that seems to want to hold you down. Step forward in your authentic energy, in your inner wisdom, in your feminine energy, in your power. All that you need to be, you already are. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for listening. My time is